Hi everybody, Elizabeth here with Country Peony. Thank you so much for coming today and thank you so much for painting with me this Monday. I hope your day is starting off well and your week. So at first I wanted to thank Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint for having me. I have so much fun doing these lives and just painting with you and hopefully inspiring you to think outside of the box, to start working with some crafts with milk paint or to get you started on the milk paint journey. So if you have any questions, Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint can answer them for you during this live. If not, I am happy to answer them after the live. And I just first wanted to introduce myself again. My name's Elizabeth with Country Peony, and Country Peony is a DIY and craft blog that focuses on simple and inexpensive DIYs to inspire anyone and everyone to create. And so that's what I do. I just create simple step-by-step tutorials. And this tutorial for this project is actually going to be on the blog on Wednesday. So if you miss anything today, don't worry, it'll be there for you. I see some people joining in, so thank you, welcome, thank you for coming. What better way to start the week than just to start creating? So today I've got some really exciting news. So I'm going to be working with a new Farmhouse Collection. And what that is, it's a Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint put together this curated collection that's inspired by the farmhouse feel. Very simple pleasures and just a beautiful, simple collection. So let me introduce the colors first, and then I can show you the project that we're working on that's inspired by those colors. So the first color is French Enamel, and it's this beautiful blue. I'm actually using it in one of my plants today, but it's this gorgeous blue, and it's inspired by the enamelware, the antique enamelware that you find. And that's paired so well with yellows and really honestly anything. Any of these colors go really well together. And then the next color that was so popular, it was brought out of retirement, is dried lavender, and it's this gorgeous purple with some blue undertones, and it's very reminiscent of lavender, as you can see from my wreath behind me. And then Luckett's green, which is a really, really fun green. I'm so happy to do it with this project because to me Luckett's green is so reminiscent of spring and cheer and just such a happy color. This was actually named after the old Luckett store, which is where the founder, Miss Mustard Seed herself, had her shop in. And so it's just a really, really fun color. And all of Miss Mustard Seed's milk paint greens are beautiful. And then that brings us into the whites. There are 3 whites in this collection, and the one that you're probably most familiar with is Farmhouse White, which is it's the most popular color, and it's gorgeous. It's a wonderful one to start with because it really just looks beautiful on anything. It's a little bit softer, and it's a really pretty color. And then we've got Grain Sack, it's got subtle hints of gray in it. And then Ironstone is it's a lot cooler than Farmhouse White, but it's still a really pretty one to play with. So I've got some fun things that we're going to do with white today as well, so stay tuned for that. So let's get into the project. So when I thought of this collection, the Farmhouse Collection, I grew up on a farm and I currently live in an old farmhouse, so this collection is really near and dear to my heart. And I started thinking, to me, spring and summertime represent gardens. And some of you have asked, because I've done plant labels in the past, but I have not done one for this year, and I thought this was the perfect application for them. So today we're going to be making these vintage inspired plant labels, so incredibly simple. And like all of my projects, very inexpensive and very simple. The beauty with this is you can use old wood scraps that you have. Honestly, sometimes the older the better, as you know with this paint. It might create this gorgeous chippy effect. I purchased mine brand new from Amazon, and I'll have the link in my blog post on Wednesday. But again, you can use any old scrap wood that you have, and then you just need a little bit of the milk paint. Truly, a little bit goes a long way. We're talking maybe a tablespoon or less for all of these plant labels. And then I added, I'll show you later, but I added some fun stamps to give the vintage inspired feel. but you can use a Sharpie if you've got beautiful handwriting. Me, not so much, so I went with the stamps, and you can really do whatever you want with it then. So today we're going to be making these, and then I also wanted to show you how I whitewashed these dollar store terracotta pots. So we can get started. I wanted to talk a little bit about what colors I used and why I used them together. The Farmhouse Collection is gorgeous because all the colors work so well together, but again, you can use any of these colors. And I love the way, for instance, that the French enamel pops off of the green, and even the mint plays with the Luckett's green with the mint. So when you're choosing your colors, just have fun with it. Honestly, yeah, and you can put them all together, or you can just do one color, whatever you want. These herbs are actually going to be indoors, so I can see them every day, but this application can be taken outside, obviously. So what we're going to do is I already added the water to my milk paint. And for this project, it's going to be a true mixing milk paint project, so 1-to-1 ratio. So for these specific plant labels, since the darker colors, the blues and the greens, I only did one coat. And it also depends on what kind of wood you're using. If you're using an old wood, you might want to add more. And also for the prep, since this wood is already, it doesn't have anything on it, there was no prep work. But obviously if your wood is old, you might require some prep work, some sanding, but that's pretty much it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just mixing the French enamel because I wanted to show you that color and how pretty it is. And I'm just using, honestly, I'm using a disposable cup and a utensil, a fork, but most of the time I have a mason jar that I keep just for mixing paint, and I also use a whisk. It's really up to you. Since I'm mixing so many colors today, I thought it'd be easier just to do it in disposable. And so there you have it, that gorgeous texture. I like to call it a cake batter texture. And if you want to find out how to mix Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint, there's so many wonderful tutorials online for that. And so I think that's good. And then for this project, I'm just going to use a craft brush. I've got a bunch of craft brushes that I buy whenever they're on clearance because my children love to paint with me, and I don't want to use my fancy painting brush. So we're just going to apply we're just going to paint it on very simply, and look how well that look how much that coverage is. It's beautiful, and this color is just stunning, especially with all of the greens and the different more vibrant colors that come out this time of the year. This is a really nice, lovely contrast to that, I think. And so you see, I just did a couple of brush strokes and we're almost completely covered. And then I would recommend letting it dry first, and then applying it to the sides and the back and the top, because you're going to see all sides of that the plant label, excuse me. And so that's essentially all as far as the painting goes. I will mention that for the lighter colors, so the whites, I did do at least 2 to 3 coats because I didn't believe the coverage was enough with just one coat. And honestly, it's personal preference. If you like a little bit of the natural wood peeking through, then just do 1 coat. If you like full coverage, then do multiple coats. There's really no right or wrong with this. And that's honestly the reason I truly love Miss Mustard Seeds milk paint, is because you can do whatever you want, and you can get really messy because the cleanup process is so incredibly simple. I am a messy creative, and I love that. I think it's so much fun just to have fun and not think about it when you're creating. You can always clean up later. Okay, so we're just a couple of, maybe less than a minute in of me painting, and I'm pretty much done with it. So you just let this dry. I would recommend letting it dry overnight before you apply anything else to it. Like I said, for the whites, and let me just show you, the cleanup is such a breeze. This is just a wet towel, wet cloth, and it's already off. So I would apply for the whites, I would do a couple of coats. So let me show you the different colors that I did. This is French enamel when it's dry. It's beautiful, beautiful blue. I didn't apply any wax or anything to this. And then the dried lavender is also just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. That's obviously very similar to lavender. And then we have the Farmhouse white, which is, like I said, the most popular color. And it's this beautiful soft white. And this one, I did 2 coats on this one. And then we've also got the grain sack, which has a little bit more gray tones in it. Oh, and I didn't mention Luckett's green. So we've got these different colors. I think they play so well together, and that's why I thought they would be really cute grouped together in a garden setting. Okay, so we painted the French enamel, and I wanted to show you how to add the stamp to it. When I was thinking about the application for this, I thought the stamps was the easiest way to go because I love that vintage inspired lettering. And like I said, I just purchased mine off Amazon. And so let me just show you how simple it is. It's just a stamp pad, and you pick your letter. And then this, I think this step is pretty crucial. So there's a lot of ink on there. So just dab it off a couple of times. And then that's what gives it that vintage inspired look where almost the lettering is coming off. And then you're just gonna go directly on top of it, not going either to the side or back. You're just gonna put your pinky down and this just go straight down. And then you've got this beautiful little letter. And then again, you can customize it to whatever you have growing. And then if you want to, you can paint over it, and you can do this all over again if you change your plants, or like me, I'm always experimenting and it's not always successful. And so I like to try all kinds of different plants. Okay, so that's that. And then what you're gonna do is I highly recommend letting this ink dry several days. I let mine dry over the weekend, and I think it's finally at a consistency that I like. I feel comfortable with it because I did try, I was messing with it, and the next day, overnight, and it was starting to come off. So I would highly recommend just letting it sit still. You can use a Sharpie if you don't want to invest in a stamp set. Oh, there that goes. Or you can also use paint. You can just have fun with it. And then as far as sealing it, so Miss Mustard Seed's Milk Paint, they've got a wonderful website, and their blog, all of their blog projects and their blog articles are super helpful. So they've got a really good blog article that highlights the milk paint that's used outdoors and the proper sealants that you can use for that. For these, since these are going to be indoors, I am not going to do anything to them. I like the matte finish. I don't think they're going to get ruined since they're inside. But if you're going to bring yours outside, depending on where it's at, if it's in the shade or it's in your garden in the sun, I would start off with a tough coat. Now, I can't guarantee that this will last all year, but it does provide a nicer, a little bit more protectant than just leaving it blank. And then if you've got some sturdier pieces where you're actually painting pieces of furniture and you're investing a whole lot of time and money and energy into it, then I would recommend looking at their blog post and seeing all the different sealers that are available out there for you. So that is essentially all for the plant labels. I told you super simple. Now let me show you how I made the pots. There are all these wonderful tutorials going around to create the vintage inspired and terracotta pots that have that gorgeous patina. When I go thrifting at least once a week. I love it so much. And one thing I always look for are terracotta pots because number one, they're a lot less, they're a lot more inexpensive than if you were to go to a big box store and buy them. And the patina on them is stunning. And so this is just a pot that I recently purchased at a big box store. And I will show you how to get this fun whitewash look using Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint. So with this project, I would recommend testing your color combo out first before you paint onto it. I love these little pots. I actually purchased these at Dollar Tree. They come in different packs. I believe this one comes in a pack of 4 and this one's a pack of 3. So you don't have a whole lot of investment in it if it doesn't go well. But of course it's gonna go well because you're working with Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint and it always works out. So let me show you what I did for this project. I use Farmhouse White just because it's the one I'm most familiar with and it's the white that I use most often. But again, any white from this collection would work. Ironstone would work, grain sap would work as well. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna mix them up for you here. And for this project, I was experimenting a little bit and I found that 1 part milk paint to 3 parts water worked best for me for this project. But again, you can experiment with it. You might want a little bit more whitewash than what I'm doing here, or you might want it thicker than what I'm doing. It really just depends on what you're going after. So as a reminder, I did 1 part milk paint to 3 parts water. Okay, and then I'm just gonna mix it. And obviously the texture is gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be a lot runnier. It's not gonna be that cake batter texture, but that's okay. Okay, so I mixed it and it's kind of hard to show, but it's definitely runny. That's the look you want. So it's super watery. And then I would suggest taking a larger craft brush. This is about 1 inch or ½ an inch. And then you're going to remove the excess. And now this is the key, don't overthink it. You're just gonna briskly apply the milk paint with brush strokes, just back and forth briskly. If you put too much thought into it, it's gonna look too perfect and that's not what you're wanting here. So you're just gonna back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like that. And just go back and forth, back and forth. And then if you want, you can go back and get some more, or you can just keep using almost like a dry brush method where you can keep, and like I said, just a swift motion like this, and just keep going around. And then you can touch up. If you're not liking some of it, you can wipe it off with the cloth before it completely seeps in. But let me show you the finish. So this is the whitewashed, and this is a little less paint on it, and then this is nothing on it. So you can see the different options here. If you want to keep your brush full of paint, you use this one. If you want a little less paint, you take it off, and then this is nothing again. I applied quite a bit of paint on mine, but I love how that looks. And I think over time, it's just gonna look so much better. I am not putting anything on top of this, but just because I kind of want to see what it's gonna do over time, but you can apply any of Miss Mustard Seeds sealants or wax onto that. So that is all for today. Again, I'm gonna have a full blog post on countrypeony.com on Wednesday, highlighting everything we talked about here and then some. Again, I want to thank you for watching this Monday. I hope this inspires you to create something fun this week. And I want to thank Miss Mustard Seeds Milk Paint for having me. It's so much fun to join you from my kitchen here in my farmhouse. And I hope you have a beautiful week. Until next time, happy crafting.